records once you are in the Zoom.
It automatically records?
There's a button for it. So whenever you open Zoom, it will automatically record.
Yeah, we used to have that. I shut off that button. It was very annoying. I forget why it did not work. Yeah, but we stopped it.
Oh, because it records since you open the meeting.
Anything and everything.
Okay. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. One of the definitions of Maya we saw yesterday. Avyakta namni paramesha shaktihi trigunatmika para karyanumeya sudhiya eva maya yaya jagat idam sarvam prasuyate, by which force this whole jagat is created, upadana karanam of the universe, and itself invisible, avyakta. Where is Maya? You cannot see. And avyakta namni paramesha shaktihi. For Parmeshwara, she is all knowledge, avyakta, but all knowledge. But for the jiva, what is she? Anadi avidya. Avidya means knowledge. No, just checking. Self-ignorance. Self-ignorance. Anadi avidya trigunatmika sa. She traps everything in the tapestry of the what? Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunaha. She traps everything and everybody so that one is identified with the gunas rather than one's own nature as Satchidanandam Brahma. This is the problem with the Maya Shakti. This is because she puts a veil on it. Veil means what? She makes me wail. That is the thing. She makes me cry, puts a veil on my own nature and feels like it's all just hopeless and fearful and sad, and that's because I have bought into the tamoguna of the Maya Shakti. And how do we come out of it is also told. Sudhiya. The buddhi must be in great shape. The buddhi must be in great shape. Why? Because if that's the only one that can transcend the Maya. Buddhi transcends Maya, and then that's why it is great, and the buddhi has to be nurtured and nourished properly. If the buddhi, in the Kathopanishad we have this famous Ratha Kalpana, chariot analogy, chariot imagery, chariot analogy. And what does the chariot analogy say? The chariot analogy talks about how the body is the Ratha, chariot. That's why, like the chariot, when it goes on the road, it makes squeaking, cracking noises. Similarly, as one ages and gets out of bed, squeaking, creaking noises come from the body also. That's why it's like a chariot. Loda loda, we will say. And then after that, it will have, so then somebody is sitting in the chariot. Who is that? Rathaswami, Ahankara. So the Rathin is Ahankara. This is the person who is sitting in the chariot going for the ride. Then the chariot to pull, what is needed?
Trees. Horse.
Horse, Abba. Okay, finally the right answer came. To pull the chariot, what is needed are horses. The horses are sense organs. Why? Because they take the chariot wherever they want to go. So, Indriyani hayani ahuhu. Haya means horse. Vishayam steshu gochara. Because they keep grazing in the land of the sense objects. They keep grazing in the land of the sense objects, and so they are horses. Horses are what? Indriyani. Sense organs are the horses. Then what is left? Then of course mind is there. Mind is left. The reins are the mind. The sense organ will go wherever it is called. Some nice smell will come. Pakodas. The nose just reports. Pakoda alert. Samosa alert. Then the mind says, alas, Viveka Chudamani class is going on. Don't think of pakodas. Look here. Pay attention. This is how the mind is the first level of niyantranam. Niyantrana means the managing the sense organs. Like the horses are managed by the reins. The reins are also not independent. They are in the hand of somebody. Who? Charioteer. Who is charioteer? Lord Krishna. That is why he has the reins. He is the buddhi. A buddhi that is dedicated to this knowledge is in the form of Lord Krishna, who turns back and teaches Arjuna, aka Ahankara. The Ahankara is taught. You are not a miserable fellow about to, you are now mired in this Pandava Kaurava war. You are much more than that. You are Satchidananda Atma. Come out of this feeling sorry for yourself. Know your true nature. Knowing your true nature is completely, completely conducive to doing your own karma. Doing your own karma is important. And that's an important precursor to knowing your own nature. So like this chariot analogy is there. And the hero of the chariot analogy, the whole chariot analogy is the buddhi. So because it says, the next 2 verses, 4-5 verses are there in this chariot analogy in the Kathopanishad. It says that yastu indriyani, for one whose senses are not able to be managed, they are like bad horses. If the horses are, this was what is it called? This was what I'm about to tell you, was an old warfare trick in ancient times. So you would go to the enemy camp. The camp would be right there. Everybody is sleeping. All the soldiers are sleeping in their tents. And the horses are where? In their stables. So just before dawn, before the war breaks out, the very cruel thing they would do, the enemies from this side would go to that other camp and feed the horses, force feed the horses toddy, addictive alcohol. So that what would they do? They would act wild. Elephants also, they used to do the same thing. They would act wild and throw off the chariot or throw off the man who's sitting on the horseback, and they would throw him off. Once he's thrown off, then then that's as good as not. You can't climb back on afterwards. That's gone. One soldier down, 2 soldiers down. Like this, they would do that. So, Dushtashvaha iva sarathehe. So then, if the sarathi is not able to control the horses, if the buddhi is not able to have a say over the ways of the mind, over the ways of the sense organs, what use is that buddhi? Kathopanishadas. The chariot will go fall in a ditch along with the person who owns the chariot. Everybody will land up in a big ditch. But we need not Dushtashvaha, we need Sadashvaha, good horses. Good horses means the Indriyas are not bad or good by themselves. What are they? They simply are. They just have to be managed by the Buddhi. Here also, Sudhiya. Sudhiya means by the Buddhi. By the Buddhi it is conquered. What? Maya. She is conquered by the Buddhi, which is abhimukha towards self-knowledge. So the shenanigans and all the tricks of Maya does not really help the Buddhi at all. The Buddhi is not interested in the tricks at all. But then what is this Maya? That is given in the next verse. Where is that? Just the one we studied. It's the next. It's the next one here. 32 or 111. Sannapi, asannapi. 109. Sannapya sannapyubhayatmikano. Bhinnapya bhinnapyubhayatmikano. Sanganangahyubhayatmikano. Mahadbhuta nirvachaniya rupa. The last word of every line is what?
No.
No. Exactly. No means no. Na-u means no. So the English word is also same here. No. So what is this Maya? Is it existent? And the answer is no. Answer we already have. Is it Sat? Sat becomes Sun because there is a Sandhi. Not S-U-N Sun or S-O-N Sun. Okay? Just Sun. The Takara is changed to Nakara. So, Sat na. Oh, so she is non-existent. Asat na. Oh, she is not existent? No. She is not non-existent? No. Then she must be sometimes existent and sometimes non-existent, or this Brihaspati says, a combination of existence and non-existence. How can you describe anything as a combination of existence and non-existence? But nonetheless, it doesn't stop the person from trying. Ubhayatmika means sometimes existent, sometimes non-existent, or sometimes a combo of existence and non-existence. What is the answer to that? No. Show some signs of life. And then we have, so sannapya bhayatmika, no, bhinna. Is she other than Brahman?
No.
Then she must be the same as Brahman.
No.
No. Now everybody is getting clever, okay? Then is she sometimes the same as Brahman and sometimes different from Brahman? No. Okay, does she have limbs? Every question I ask, the answer is no. Okay? Let's get this straight once and for all. Does she have limbs and parts? No. Does she not have limbs or parts? No. Does she sometimes have limbs and sometimes doesn't have limbs? No. And then the author concludes, Maha Adbhuta. Adbhuta means Vichitra. This Maya is weird. Vichitra is the Sanskrit word for weird. This Maya is a weirdo. Weirdo is masculine, so weirda, I suppose. So this Maya is totally weird. We don't know what this Maya is. Even the authors in very fine poetry throw up their hands and we say, and the author says what? We don't know what it is. Mahadbhuta, and what is its Swarupa? Anirvachya Swarupa, Anirvachaniya Swarupa. Nirvachaniya means distinctly can be said what it is. Like these glasses, pair of glasses. What is this? Pair of glasses. You show it to anybody, they will say that. No, not that one person will say glasses and the other person says, I'm not sure, it looks like an elephant. Nobody will say that. Everybody will say glasses. It is Nishchita Swarupam. Everybody will say Upanetram. Upanetram, why? Because Netrasya Samipe Tishtati Upasamipe. That which is near the eyes is called Upanetram. So it's not that sometimes it is Upanetram and sometimes it is Kunjara. Kunjara means what? Elephant. So, not that it is sometimes an elephant, sometimes a potted plant and sometimes a glass. No, it's always the same. No shape shifting. But Maya, we cannot say that. Already one big shape has shifted. For Ishvara, what is she? All knowledge. For the Jiva, what is she? Ajnanam. And as soon as we start talking about Maya, everybody gets confused. Even the simple no doesn't come out. Yeah, that is because we are undergoing that. We are demonstrating that one is succumbing to Maya. We are demonstrating the power of Maya as it pertains to the Jiva. Everybody gets confused. Even in Gita home study, when they start reading 7th chapter, Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti, same thing here. Everybody gets confused and goes home in a muddle. That's because, as it says, the same thing is happening in real time. So she is not, her Swarupa is very confusing, because how can the same entity be all knowledge for Ishvara and all ignorance for Jiva? This is something which is abhajaniya. You cannot categorically make a statement, yes, she is there, yes, she is not there. And it is only done by the effect, understood by the effect. Very nice, beautiful. So those are there are some more verses on Maya, but those are the most, highlighted ones. So that is very nice. And then after that, now we are just going into the era of randomness, because there's not that much time left. So, let us see. I'll just highlight a few nice ones, a couple of very nice ones. Here, 146 or thereabouts. Etabhyam eva shaktibhyam. What number is it?
46.
Or thereabouts. 146 के आजू बाजू देखो.
What the words you said?
एताभ्यामेव शक्तिभ्यां बन्धः पुंसः समागतः याभ्यां विमोहिता देहं मत्वात्मानं भ्रमत्ययम्. The student asked the whole list of questions. Do you remember? What did he say or she say? Ko nama bandhah, kathamesha agatah, katham pratishthasya, katham vimokshah. Remember? All those. So, ko nama bandhah, kathamesha agatah is answered through the discussion of Maya Shakti. And the teacher concludes here what? Etabhyam, by these Shaktis, these two powers. What are the two powers? Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. The Shakti to cover and the Shakti to project. Vikshepa, projection. Avarana, covering. And what is the covering? The covering is covering my own nature as Brahman from me. That is Ajnanam. Vikshepa is the projection of this one Brahman into as though manifold Jagat. That is the second Shakti. Now, which Shakti are we going to overcome? Covering. Because you can't do anything to Vikshepa. You can't say, I'm going to make everything into one and start cutting down houses, trees, buildings, people. You can't do that. Ishvara Srishti. You didn't make it. Oh, but I didn't make Ajnanam also. But yes, but you have a mind that can do something about it. And you can't stand Ajnanam, so the Avarana is taken care of. Vikshepa continues, but you see everything as Brahman anyway. So it doesn't matter. So, etabhyam eva shaktibhyam pumsaha, the person, what happens? bandhaha samagataha. This is how the person has become as though bound. We have to always add as though. Yabhyam, by which vimohitaha, by which the person is deluded. What is the nature of this delusion? Deham atmanam matva bhramati ayam. Deham, the body, atmanam matva, thinking the body to be oneself, the person wanders around in confusion. The person wanders around in confusion, thinking the body to be Atma. And then one more question. Ko nama bandhak kathamesha agatah katham pratisthasya. Yeah, where is the pratishtha? And that is going to be described in this very beautiful verse. We should chant it. 147 thereabouts. Bijam samsriti.
Bijam samsriti.
Bhumijasya tu tamaha.
Bhumijasya sutamaha.
Dehatmadhiram kuraha.
Dehatmadhiram kuraha.
Ragav pallavam ambu karma vapuhu.
Ragav pallavam
Did I make a mistake? I made something up? Whatever it is.
45.
Thereabouts. आजू बाजू में देखो ना, ऊपर नीचे आगे पीछे थोड़ा देखो. हाँ? बीजम संस्कृति भूमि जस्य तु तमः.
बीजं संस्कृति भूमि जस्य तु तमः.
देहात्मधीरङ्कुरः.
देहात्मधीरङ्कुरः.
रागः पल्लवमम्बुकर्म तु वपुः.
रागः पल्लवमम्बुकर्म तु वपुः.
स्कन्धोत्सवः शाखिकाः.
स्कन्धोत्सवः शाखिकाः.
अग्रणीन्द्रियसंहतिश्च विषयाः.
अग्रणीन्द्रियसंहतिश्च विषयाः.
पुष्पाणि दुःखं फलम्.
पुष्पाणि दुःखं फलम्.
नानाकर्मसमुद्भवं बहुविधम्.
नानाकर्मसमुद्भवं बहुविधम्.
भोक्तात्र जीवः खगः.
भोक्तात्र जीवः खगः.
Very beautiful description of samsara. Samsara is likened to a tree. Where? Samsara is likened to a tree. Where? Yeah, where? Bhagavad Gita. Okay, yeah. Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. And where did those verses come from? Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad. There, here urdhva moolam adha shakham. There it is urdhva moolah avak shakha. Same thing. So here, so that is the poets love to bring out the comparison because there are many comparisons, and here this person's poetry is very beautiful. So the samsara is a tree, right? If samsara is a tree, it must have a seed. How did it grow? You can't suddenly, so the tree doesn't drop down from the sky. It grew, right? So what is the bija? What is the seed of the samsara tree? Tamas ajnana. Bijam samsriti samsara. Bijam means bijam. Bijam is what? Seed. Yes. So bijam samsriti bhumijaha. Bhumau jayate. It grows in the ground. So bhumijaha means the tree. Bhumijasya, of the tree, the seed for the tree of samsriti, samsara, is what? Tamaha, tamas. Self-ignorance is the seed. But then you water the seed, and what happens to the seed? What is the water? We'll see later. What happens to the seed? Sprouts. What is the sprout of samsara? The baby tree in the form of just the split seed. You don't even know if it's going to survive or not, but then it survives and becomes a big tree. What is that? Ankura. that tender sprout, dehaha aham iti buddhi. Dehatmadhi. I am as good as this body. Deha eva atma iti buddhi. The buddhi that says the body itself is atma, that is the ankura, the sprout of the tree of what? Samsara. Then of course it grows strong and gets leaves. What is the leaves? Raga Dvesha are the leaves. That's why there are so many of them. Can you count here, look out of the window? Can you count the leaves on that tree? Absolutely not. Why? Because that many Raga Dveshas are in the head. In one head, not in the collective head of everybody. In one head, more than the leaves of the tree, there will be Raga Dveshas in each head. So therefore, Ragaha, including Dveshascha, Pallavaha. And then the water. Of course, without water, the tree will not grow. Ambu. Ambu is water. And what is the water? Karma. So the desire makes me do karma. It creates a pressure for me to get something. So I can't just sit and hope that something what I want will come. So what do? I work for it. I water the tree of samsara with karma. The more karma I do, what kind of karma? Kamya karma. To get objects of desire, the more karma I do, the samsara tree gets stronger and stronger and stronger. It becomes like King Kong, samsara tree. Nothing can shake it. Then ambu karma. Vapuhu. Vapuhu means the body of the tree is the body of the samsara. Strong, the trunk of the tree. Vapuhu, the body of the samsara, is skandha. The trunk of the tree is the whole body of samsara, which is very difficult to shake. Try shaking that tree. It's not going to do that. You go there and shake, you will shake. The tree will not shake. So, asavaha. Asavaha means the pranas. Shakhikaha. So first there are main branches. Shakhaha. Shakhika means baby branches. 5 baby branches you may see, and each of them is prana, vyana, apana, udana, samana. That's why it's all branched out like that. Agrani is twigs. So at the end of the shakhikas there are what? Twigs. So agrani, twigs. Indriya samhati. The assemblage of the senses, again, small twigs are there. We can imagine 5 in number. The small twigs are the sense organs, stand for the sense organs. And then the tree, of course, grows flowers. Correct? Does it have flowers or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So, agrani indriya samhatihi. Then what are the flowers? Indriya vishayaha pushpani. Indriya vishayaha means what? The objects of the sense organs are the flowers. Sense objects, flowers. Sense organ, twigs. And that's why the flowers grow at the end of the twig in the tree. Always out of reach. The twig cannot have the flower. The flower is for something else, but the twig wants the flower, so to speak, in the author's mind, in the poet's mind. Then the flowers turn into what? Fruits. What is the fruit? Dukkha. Yes. Agrani indriya samhatihi vishayaha pushpani dukkham phalam. The phala of samsara tree is what? Sorrow. Sorrow. Not even, you don't even have to wait for the morrow. The sorrow is here only, right here, right now. Sorrow. That's why it's called samsara, because it is some sorrow or the other all the time plaguing me. This is samsara tree. And even in the Mundakopanishad we have this. tree image. Samsara tree is there in the Mundakopanishad also, and the birds are sitting on this tree. Very funny. One bird very, very active, goes Swadu Pippalam Atti, eats tasty, tasty berries. In other words, it's very, very active. For the sake of the berries, it is going from branch to branch, it is hopping, hopping, hopping. It says, I have to go do this, I have to go do that. I have a meeting. How to harvest berries, that's the topic of the meeting. I have another meeting, how to grow berries. Oh, you have one more meeting, I have to go one more place. Yes, how to market the berries. So, this is what the one bird is completely obsessed with berries. It's a berryholic. And then the other one is just looking on, without eating, without going into this drama. It is simply looking on. One is Jiva, the other is the invisible Ishvara, which it doesn't know. Anishaya shochati muhyamanaha. The first bird cries and cries and cries, bitter tears of sorrow, because it doesn't know itself as Ishvara. Same thing here. The samsara tree is complete. Wait, it's not yet complete. Pushpani dukkham phalam. Then nana karma samudbhavam. Nana karma samudbhavam means it is the samsara tree is made up of samashti, total desires, the desires of all the jiva ganas together, and their desires make up the jagat, which immediately gets converted into samsara. Nana karma samudbhavam bahuvidham. Bahuvidham means it's manifold expressions of this tree. Manifold is the expressions of the tree. And then there is one bird flying above the tree. Who is that? Jiva. Sad Jiva. Flying above the tree, thinking the tree to be its own. But then, sad Jiva, which is who? Bhokta. Bhokta atra Jivaha khagaha. A sad bird flies above the samsara tree. It is at home and not at home. Permanently not at home, but it doesn't know any other home. It can't fly away too far because it misses the samsara tree. How can you miss this nonsense? But it misses somehow. Oh, I wish I could have done that. It was kind of nice to be sad. That is the problem here. And then, Bhokta atra jivaha khagaha. See how I just wanted you to get a, what is that? A sense of it. Now we will see some Aikya Vakya. One or two we'll see. So now this one answers the question, Katham Vimoksha. How does one get freedom? Look around 150 Aju Baju, near abouts.
150.
Shruti Pramanaikamate Swadharma Nishtha Dayaivatma Vishuddhirasya.
Yeah, 148.
Why is nobody else finding it? Shruti Pramanaikamate Swadharma Nishtha. Yeah, okay. Shruti Pramanaikamate Swadharma Nishtha Tayaivatma Vishuddhirasya Vishuddha Buddhe Paramatma Vedanam Tenaiva Samsara Samulanasha. Very nice. So how to cut this samsara tree is already given in the Bhagavad Gita. And what does it say? Asanga shastrena dridhena chitva. Through asangatvam, not getting attached to each and everything, not getting embroiled in each and everything. Otherwise there is no end. You take any cause, then you just get all riled up. All riled up. Oh, why did this not happen? social injustice. Okay. Okay, there is social injustice. What are you? Oh, I can start a movement. Start. Okay, I have started. What happened? Nothing happened. Okay, come back. Come back to Vedanta. That's all we can say. No, I was successful. I was successful. What did you do? Well, I made a revolution in something, in some area. I did that. Okay, then what are you going to do? Now I'm looking to start another revolution. Where is the end? Where is the end? No end. And the more one gets embroiled in this, the further and further away Atmajnanam is. Atmajnanam takes one look at the person and says, I'm not sitting in this heart because this fellow will drive me away. Yeah, this person will drive me away, no place for me. Atmajnanam is very jealous. It doesn't like any other priorities. Yes. Nothing should be there. It's very jealous. It is very faithful to you. But you have to say, I love you more than anybody else. I'm going to be with you alone. It's really like a marriage. Nothing short of a marriage it is. I'm going to be totally loyal to you and there is nobody else in my life. You have to not only declare, but it is waiting for actions. You have to show that. You have to show that. And this is the, I don't know why Kathopanishad is coming so much today, but Kathopanishad also talks about the same thing. Nayam Atma pravachanena labhya. This Atma is not gained by pravachanas. And then Nayam Atma pravachanena labhya na medhaya, not even by one's own thinking. Medhaya na bahuna shrutena. Bahuna means by going to each and every talk of everybody who comes to town. And if you are in Rishikesh, that's very easily accomplished. Because some new Ananda is coming to town every single day. One day this Ananda, another day that Ananda, third day Ananda. And then you keep listening. Nothing happens. Yamaivesha vrinute tena labhyaha tasyaiva atma Tasyaisha Atma Vivrinute Tanum Swam. Very beautiful thing it is. Very poignant and important verse also. The one who chooses the Atma and says, this is for me alone, for them only Vivrinute. The Atma shows itself. So here also, it is, samsara samula nasha. Samula means along with the cause. What is the cause? What is the bija of samsara tree? Avidya. Abba, finally. Avidya. So avidya nasha and is equal to samsara nasha. So both of them, both of them die away. So ekamatihi is needed. Single-minded focus. Why? To what? Shruti pramana. Shruti pramana ekamatehe. For the one who subscribes to and understands that this is the only way to see this is through the Shruti Pramana. One qualification. Second one, Swadharma Nishtha. Swadharma, simply put, is to, if I was in a real hurry and I had to define Swadharma, I would say it is minding your own business. Yeah. Which is a very difficult thing to do. Other people's business is much more interesting. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why didn't you do that? How is that? What happened? Anybody would much rather lose themselves in other people's business. And the more I make other people's business my own business, which is the true my own business, just goes to the back burner. And it will stay there. Why will it come? Whole life keep minding other people's business. Actually, it's very boring. Very, very boring. Never understood that. But that's one of the hallmarks of samsara. So, Shruti Pramana Ekamatehe. And then for this person who is Shruti Pramana Ekamati, the mind is totally dedicated to the Shruti as a means of knowing Brahman as oneself. Shruti Pramana Ekamatehe. And then the second thing is minding one's own business. Swadharma Nishtha. What I have to do for my own growth, where I have to go next, what I have to study next, where am I weak, where am I strong, In terms of Sanskrit and all that, and then internally, where is it? Where are my talents? Where are my limitations? How to overcome my limitations? This itself is consuming. You don't need to think about anybody or anything else. So this is Swadharma Nishtha. So then that's the second thing. Swadharma Nishtha. Tayaiva Atma Vishuddhi Asya Vishuddhihi. So from this alone the person gets Atma Shuddhi. Atma Shuddhi means Antahkarana Shuddhi. Tayaiva Atma Vishuddhihi Asya. And then Vishuddha Buddhehe, for the one whose Ragadveshas are tamed, Paramatma Vedanam. So the Ragadveshas are tamed, the heart is not full of clutter of so many Vishayas and so many desires. There is place for Bhagavan to be seen. Paramatma Vedanam. Bhagavan is known in that kind of a heart. Vishuddha Buddhi. Buddhi heart, one and the same, we saw in the questions yesterday. So, Vishuddha Buddhehe Paramatma Vedanam Tenaiva. From this alone samsarasya samoola nashaha. The samsara is destroyed, not for everybody, for just this person. Everybody has to do their own work. Okay, very beautiful verse. Katham Vimokshaha is it addresses, and then Kosau Atma Kathameva Anatma, he asked, what is Atma, what is Anatma? We are going to skip that answer to that question because it is, look how many pages it is here. This many verses and pages. So I'm going to, skip that. Tayoho Aikyam, we will see. How is that oneness talked about? We will see. It's a very nice verse here. 2-3 verses are given to describe the oneness of the vision, and but this one I like the best because it's very, very nice. So look for Etau Upadhi, 286 thereabouts.
86.
Did you find it?
No, 86 is Nidrayam.
Which one?
Which one?
286.
Sloka. What is the starting?
Probably 284.
Eta upadhi parajivayostayoho. 77 in the book.
77.
In the book. And then 286 here it says. No, 246. 246. Eta upadhi parajivayostayoho. Samyak nirasena paro na jiva. What?
244.
Okay, let's start. Eta upadhi parajivayostayoho. Samyak nirasena paro na jiva. Rajyam narendrasya na bhatasya ketataha. Tayorapahe na bhavo na raja. Okay. Now, before I explain this verse to you, I have to tell you a little story upon which the verse is based. So, one Raja was there, king, and one sentry was there. Sentry means Dwarapalaka, the one who takes care of the entrance to the king's room. No, everybody can't walk in. The king is sitting in the courtyard of the palace and nobody can just walk in. So he'll be having his uniform and he'll be having shield and sword and everything. That is the insignia of the sentry. And then the Raja didn't think anything about the sentry, hardly knew who he was. The sentry was plotting to overthrow the Raja. And one day everybody was very busy in the kingdom, putting, in the palace, putting all kinds of rangolis and flowers and everything. Some big function was there. And they said, oh, the sentry is with the Raja, no problem. He's been there for 25 years. He's so, loyal. He's very loyal. And so we'll leave him here and then we'll go do about our things. The Raja is not unattended, he's got a sentry. Sentry was happy that everybody else was sent away. And then sentry, suddenly the Raja who felt the sword on his neck said, quick, give me all the insignia of the power. Give me your stamp. Give me your this. Give me your... He says, what are you doing? I'm your king. Shut up. Don't talk. Otherwise the sword is right here. Take off your clothes. What will I wear? Don't worry. You'll wear my clothes. So this forcible exchange was made. Now the sentry is who? Raja. And Raja is who? Sentry. Just then the people started to come. And the Raja, who is now the sentry, the sentry who is now the Raja, said, quick, I'm so glad you came. You know, this fellow turned out to be the most dangerous and disloyal person. Take him away. Take him away. People don't see the face. People see the uniform. He is wearing all the royalty, all the cape and the crown and everything he has. And after the cape and crown, what is there to see? Nothing is there to see. Just like sannyasis, you know, all with a beard and thing, nothing. Everybody looks alike. And so here also all the Rajas look alike. This fellow also looked like a Raja. Nobody even questioned. And meanwhile the king is the real king, who is now in the garb of the sentry, is crying, fools, look at me. I am your king. And what does the sentry turned Raja says? Not only he is dangerous, he is delusional. Look, he thinks he is the king. Take him away. Off with his head. I don't want to see him ever again. See, in bright daylight, one big coup happened. How did this happen? This is how it is talked about here. Very beautiful story is brought to life. So, etau means this Jiva and Ishvara upadhi. Etau upadhi. Upadhi, the E is long because it is dual. Like Harihi, Hari. Yeah. So, Ishvara has what? Maya upadhi. Jiva has avidya upadhi. Upadhi means dress. Okay, that's all. That's why this thing is being this particular example is being given here in the last two lines. Upadhi is dress and the get-up. Ishvara's upadhi is what? Maya Shakti. All knowledge, all power, upadana karanam, everything. Grand, king of the universe, cause of the universe. Jiva's upadhi is because. I'm not cause, I must be because. I'm not all, that's why I'm small. I'm not God, therefore I must be odd. This is Jiva's upadhi. Jiva's upadhi is miserable upadhi. It's almost like Maya Shakti is a tailor, seamstress. She measured up Ishvara and then she asked, okay, you please tell me something about yourself. What do you think, how should your dress look? What do you want? Ishvara said, I am Jagat Karanam Brahma. What does that mean? I am the ruler of the whole universe. Nothing, not a leaf shakes without my permission. I am everything, I am all. I am the Lord of all. I am Lord and Goddess in one. She says, okay, I'll see what I can come up with. And after all, she is the material cause. So she has all the materials to make a beautiful cape for him. With gold, silver, diamond studded, crystal studded. And the galaxies are the border. Not even individual planets. Whole galaxies are the border for this grand cape for the Lord of the universe. Jiva also complainingly went, he got such a nice dress, what about me? I also want a dress. Okay, what is your address? How do you present yourself? Tell me something about you. Nothing is good. I'm crying all the time. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. I'm small, I'm miserable, that one is better, this one thinks that they are better but they are not as good as me, but still I don't approve of myself. I'm Maya Shakti says, okay. Got the idea. And then she makes a tattered quilt full of patchwork with teardrops as the border. Yeah. This is the upadhi. As long as one is wearing that cape, one feels sad and miserable. Throw off that cape. How to throw off that cape? Atmajnanam. Throw off the cape. And go and throw off Ishvara's cape also. This is the cognitive, this is the resolving the equation between Tvam-pada and Tat-pada. The upadhi is taken off. Upadhi means anything that goes, anything that's a get-up. Body is a get-up for Atma, yes, goes away. Mind is a get-up for Atma, goes away. And senses go away. Gender consciousness goes away. I am small, that idea goes away. Everything you cognitively remove. On the Tvam-pada side, what is left is consciousness, Chaitanya Swarupa, Shuddha Chaitanya. Then on Ishvara's side, you do the same removal. What do you remove? The status of Jagat Karanam Brahma. And then you remove. And then you remove all of these things. What is left is Shuddha Chaitanya. That is how we can say Tattvamasi. So if you get lost in the upadhi, this knowledge will not work at all. That is what it says here. Etau upadhi parajivayoho tayoho samyak nirase. Samyak means properly according to Shruti and Yukti. Shruti anukula Yukti. The Yukti that is in keeping with the Shruti. Yukti means logic, reasoning. Then tayoho nirase, when that is removed, when these upadhis are removed, what is there? Nothing is there. Na paraha, na jivaha. Neither Ishvaratvam is not there, Jivatvam is not there. Don't say Ishvara is not there. Jiva is Ishvara, Ishvaratvam is not there, Jivatvam is not there. And then he gives the same example we saw in the story, Rajyam Narendrasya. So when you take away the kingdom of the king, like this, what is that? The servant did, the sentry, what did he do? He took away the kingdom of the king, Rajyam Narendrasya, and then Bhatasya Khetakaha. Khetakaha means that shield, that whatever the sentry has. Bhata is servant, the sentry, foot soldier. Bhatasya Khetakaha, the upadhi of the soldier. Khetakaha means that, what is that? The bayonet, shield. And that came. So tayoho, of these, apahe, tayoho apahe. Apahe means when these are taken away, there is no bhata, there is no servant, there is no soldier, there is no sentry, no raja, there is no raja either. So it is all because of the get-up, the differences are there. And since it is time now for us to get up, we will conclude this. 577 according to the thing, 577 and then or thereabouts. Iti shrutva guror vakyam prashrayena krita natihi. Iti shrutva guror vakyam prashrayena krita natihi. Sa prashrayena krita natihi. Satena samanujñātah yayau nirmukta bandhanaha. Iti shrutva guror vakyam, having listened to the Guru's teachings. Who? Kritanatihi, the student, having intently listened. And then Kritanatihi means the one who was surrendered. The surrendered student having listened to the teacher's teaching and tam anujñātah, and getting the permission from the teacher to leave, left. Yayau, left. And then what did the teacher do? Teacher became very sad because over the course of the Viveka Chudamani 555 verses, The teacher had become very attached to a student and teacher became very sad. Let us see. Gururevam sadananda
Gururevam sadananda
Sindhau nirmagna manasah
Sindhau nirmagna manasah
Pavayam vasudham sarvam
Pavayam vasudham sarvam
Vichachara nirantaram.
Vichachara nirantaram.
So neither did the Guru cry because the Shishya was gone, nor did the Guru heave a sigh of relief. Abba, thank God the Shishya went. He was eating my head for the last 555 verses. Thank God. No. The Guru was completely immersed in Sadananda Sindhu, in the ocean of happiness, everlasting happiness. And in the ocean of that Swarupa happiness, Nirmagna Manasaha, whose mind was completely happily immersed in that happiness, Pavayan, gaining Vasudham Sarvam, gaining the whole earth. Why? Shrotriyaha Akamahataha, the Guru is. So the whole earth, it is for the Guru alone. And then Vichachara kept moving around until he or she was caught by another student, kept moving around. And then, let's see. Then it says, Ityacharyasya shishyasya
Ityacharyasya shishyasya
Samvadenatmalakshanam
Samvadenatmalakshanam
Nirupitam mumukshunam
Nirupitam mumukshanam
Sukhabodhopapattaye.
Sukhabodhopapattaye.
So, iti, in this manner, Sukhabodha upapattaye, for the easy understanding, Sukhabodha upapattaye, for the easy understanding, for what? For whom? For the mumukshus, for mumukshunam, for all the mumukshus, for their easy understanding, this Acharyasya and Guru, the Acharya, which is the Guru, and the Shishyasya Samvadena Lakshitam. So the whole teaching is presented in the form of the dialogue between the teacher and the student for easy apprehension on part of the students who are mumukshus. Nirupitam has been unfolded. Why? So that the mumukshus are blessed and they are happy. Very nice. Wonderful. Om Purnamada
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Now it has been clipped properly for prasad here.
No catching today.
That was a bit heavy to throw. That will boomerang back.
Yes.
That's why I did not throw. This you don't need.
It's big.
Yeah, paper you can did not have. You can have one orange also. Sit. Yeah. You are going somewhere?
No, no.
Okay, sit.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you now.
Yeah.
These people have to go for class. Let them go.
Oops.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the classes.
Yeah, we pretended to finish it.
This is